what is wrong with me? Just anyways. Hey.
Hey. All right, we'll just keep it casual.
Okay.
Nice little New Year special. And we're getting this,
Hope
we're
I
going to
didn't
try and
just
get this
mess
posted today
Oh, for real?
or tomorrow.
Okay.
I have nothing
That's
to do
high
today.
ambitions.
Yeah, I have nothing to do today. So.
Well, the cool thing, cool thing is I've gotten very comfortable behind the camera versus like what I used to be. Because like you may not have recognized the last time we did the podcast. Oh my gosh, like what? I'm so shy behind the camera. Like that's one thing that like my Smart Wiz like working for them has really helped because I have to hold a microphone and like you know have somebody else record me. If I'm recording, it's like a selfie. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like not being able to see myself, not being able to control the camera, that shit. Yeah, I'm trying to get good at that.
Hey, that's why we try to make sure everything is good. You said it was off center a little bit. We fix it because once we get rolling, we just rolling.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing to it but to do it.
I'm
And with that, welcome to the great journey where we talk about things with cool people. I'm the one and only holiday season. You're here for a reason. And today we have a very special guest on the new year, January 1st. Kayla Cobb.
I'm the cool people.
Kayla Cobb was here last year and, we were starting off, wasn't really efficient, and we messed up your episode. So
We're back.
I'm glad that you came back. Some people just say, "No, I'm off," but glad to have you back. How you doing?
We're persistent. The devil cannot stop nothing.
Amen.
But I'm doing blessed. I'm excited. January 1, and I'm sitting here with this guy. I mean, just honestly great connections, great journey on the way in this new year. So I'm excited. I'm blessed. I wouldn't want to spend my January 1st any other way. I'm gonna be honest.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Did you have any plans? Did you do anything fun?
For my New Year's?
New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You can get into all.
Well, what
that's
did
all
I do?
A
Shoot.
combination, basically.
At this point, yeah, because literally they're all together.
Exactly.
Like, it feels like they ran together this year. Did I do anything exciting? I mean, no. My family and I played a bunch of games last night, so that was really cool.
Nice.
Have you ever, what is it called? Oh, dang, I'm not going to be able to, Fidget? No, not Fidget. I don't know. It's some game on the Xbox that my cousin brings over, but it's pretty dope. I love a game night because I don't have friends to ever do game night with. So, of course, spending it with my fam is cool. But other than that, I've spent a lot of time with my family over the holidays. Like, since I've been home, one, because I work so much. So, during that time period, I just don't have time to even call them. Mm-hmm. But so when I'm home, I make sure I'm intentional to serve them, be with them in that time. And I haven't always been like that. So,
that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I like being intentional. I think this holiday season was like a very intentional one for me and my family. I don't know why. Thankfully, yes, but like I don't know what kind of sparked it of just like, hey, let's be intentional this year and be around each other. But we were around each other from Thanksgiving, Christmas, in between, like just kicking it, which was dope.
Super dope. It's one thing I just kind of want to touch on because it's cute, but my family is super negative. So for those of you out here, that might have a negative family, which I think all of us do in some light. Unfortunately, it's just the way it goes. But my family and I over this Christmas, this is probably like one of my favorite things. So I don't know where the transition happened,
right? But
we always like the youngest will always go around. Like the youngest opens their present first, and then we go all the way to the oldest. But like this year, for some reason, I think my cousin kind of started it. Like whether it was socks, whether it was like body wash, or whether it was like $100 gift card, I don't know. We would literally cheer and we were like, "Woo, socks!" And like it was just so supportive and so like loving, and like the person that gave the gift felt good, and the person that got the gift felt good. And like I said, I don't know where it came from, but it was super dope.
That sounds like a core memory that can be like a cool tradition.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll keep with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
So, New Year, resolutions, things are happening, things are coming fast for you. We'll go ahead and get straight into it because it's about to be that time. Tax season.
Oh.
Tax season is upon us. How you feel? Are you excited?
I am so excited. So this is year 2 for me. And honestly, it's just crazy how fast a year blows by because, literally I haven't even had time to spend all the money from last tax season. So we love it. But, I'm actually more than excited. The goal is, to surpass way more than I did last year in my first year. So financially, what that looks like, to be able to have the impact, what that looks like, I know, God is going to do it. So I'm very excited, ready to get into the thick of it. Conference is in 2 weeks. So it's kind of the start of my tax season for sure.
Okay. And for those that don't know exactly what you do around taxes, give them a little overview, insight into the life of Kayla.
All right, so into the life of Kayla is scary. No, I'm just kidding. But so I have my own tax business. I've been doing it since December of 2021. And literally the best thing, saved my entire life. I love it so much. And I know it's so weird because like taxes, like girl, what? You don't look like you do taxes, nor why would you even decide to do taxes? But I kid you not, it's been the best business out of all of the endeavors that I've done, the best business. But not only do I help people not only know taxes, help do their returns, prepare and also do financial like strategy. We also teach people taxes and help them start their own businesses. So I kind of do every aspect of it. Have an academy where we literally go through point A of point B of not knowing anything with taxes to knowing everything you essentially need to grow in the tax world, because at the end of the day, code changes all the time. Right. I don't know if anybody will ever know all of taxes, right. But so that's what I do a little bit.
That's dope. And this is year 2, so first year success, but now it's time to pick it up a little bit. We're looking for higher ambition goals. What does it look like? And with where you're at, it's like a startup, correct? So you guys are kind of going through a transition of expanding this business that you guys, I would say, like from the ground up, bootstrap almost, right?
No.
How's that going through like the process of, you're not a Fortune 500 company, you're not already in something that's super established. Yeah, talk about it. Talk about it. You guys are actually going to build the foundation of what's going to be soon to come a Fortune 500 company. What does that look like?
It just literally every time I hear it, it just sounds so crazy because, like, why did God pick me? I'm going to be honest. And once again, taxes is just the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so we are one of 15 IRS approved softwares, minority owned, the youngest owned, super passionate about honestly just impacting 1 billion families. So that's our goal. So what is our software? It's actually literally going to take a tax return anywhere from 4 hours for some preparers. Not me. I can't do that. Don't take that long. But down to potentially 5 to 20 minutes. So essentially it's going to not only just make the taxpayer side easier, but also the tax preparer side. So both sides, for you, for me, for both sides of me, of course. But essentially, like I said, one of 15 IRS approved software has been working really hard to do that. Software is not fully out, but that's the tech startup side of things. It takes time, definitely learning what it looks like to be a part of a tech tech startup, whether it be Uber, Facebook, Affirm. It's honestly crazy just to see what all goes into it. Yeah. It's a different lifestyle. I'm going to be honest. It's different than starting a business by yourself. It's different than working for anybody. It is you pivot 24/7. If this doesn't work, you go to this, you brainstorm this while you're trying to figure out if this works. It's just literally, and you're doing it as a team. It's not just you. So it's like, kind of just can be a little all over the place. But I love entrepreneurship. I thrive in it. So do you. So, it's kind of exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah.
But so we are backed by Google, also backed by Pharrell Williams and Coco Chanel. So super dope just to, have people that do already see the vision. Along with like Alabama Power, we've raised over $2 million ourselves and went to Silicon Valley last year, April through June, to do essentially it's called LA Techstars. Okay. Same thing Uber went through, Affirm went through, Facebook went through. Now we went through it. So.
And I think that was around the time when you came and we had the episode that never got released, but you were saying we got some big things coming down.
And I couldn't talk about it. Yeah, I know. So I've been waiting the day that I could actually talk about this, because backed by Google is huge. Yeah. I mean, and then people know who Pharrell is, obviously. Super dope to, be mentored by him. But yeah, it's big things.
That's dope. That's super dope. And with everything you're saying, like backed by Google, big name after big name, backing you guys, what confidence does that give you where you're now mentoring people, you're now helping people reach their goals, because you're essentially one of the leaders, like a pioneer in this tax game?
Yeah, well, I'm very blessed to start at the beginning. I think is one of the biggest keys is just, I've been myself through the academy, so I know what it looks like for somebody, whether they work for SmartWiz or they're coming in to learn taxes. I know I've been here for a while, so I kind of know, each side of the business. But as far as like confidence, I mean, really, I've been able to feel it in my bones since day one. It's just literally, that's the saying I always say since I started. It's just something you can feel, like, for a fact this thing is going to blow. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of when. And I always say we're the Microsoft of the financial industry. So, because whether it be bookkeeping, accounting, taxes, you name it, like, we're going to have so many AI incorporated softwares. It's going to like I said, probably be bigger than Microsoft, just because obviously everybody pays taxes. Not everybody uses Excel. Not everybody even has a laptop, let alone, but everybody has to pay taxes. So, yeah. With
everybody paying taxes and you being the expert, what is something that you can give to these people that are paying taxes, whether they're 1099, whether they're W-2? What's something that every tax-paying person should know going into this tax season?
Okay. One, it's never too late to plan. To get better, even if it's August. I can tell you, you can always change your financial situation anytime throughout the year. But my biggest thing, going into the new year is making sure that if you are an employee, that you have the proper withholding taken out of your check. Of course, some people need the money throughout the year, so therefore, they can't have everything taken out, so they end up owing during tax season. Maybe we'll get into that, y'all. I don't want to, go too far, but essentially making sure that your withholding is right, or if you have a business, making sure you're putting something aside and or being in track of your expenses, because that is super, super key where a lot of people go wrong. The good thing is there's ways around it. I've done it for my own self, but it's like one of those things where being organized is key in taxes, but that's not always the easiest thing to do, okay?
So staying organized is one of the big things, and we don't have to delve too deep into taxes. Like, if you want to get some taxes done, I've had my taxes done by Kayla, and I'll tell you what, I appreciate you for helping me with my pockets. So, it helps out when, April comes around and I got a little extra outside of the paycheck. So if you do need help with taxes, we'll put something in the bio, in the description. We'll find a way to make it happen where you can get with an expert like Kayla and make it happen. But staying organized, let's just jump into like life. How are you figuring out ways to stay organized with the chaos of a tech startup? We can jump into, you're in Bible college, a whole, you got a lot going on. So how are you staying organized with life?
Well, shout out to God for giving me the capacity and allowing me to throw everything at him that is weighing down on me while I'm in the midst of it. But one, Google Calendar, and I know literally it sounds so silly, but like Google Calendar saved my life. Like, okay, taxes did, but like, in reality, I needed a Google Calendar. But yes, Google Calendar and time blocking my time is key. It's, sometimes it's not as easy if you have a lot of meetings or things like that where, time can get ahead of you or, run past you. But definitely as far as like keeping my life in order, Google Calendar is the one thing that like I would not be able to live without. I'm definitely a notes person. I'm a whiteboard person. I'm a, put everything, because I think a lot of times we try to keep everything in our brain. Like everybody does it. I know I'm guilty. And then by the end of the day, your brain hurts because you're trying to keep a track of all this stuff. And then one thing slides out. But one thing that somebody actually made me get into the habit of doing is if it takes less than 30 seconds, do it right when you think of it. Yep. And that is definitely, whether it be putting your shoes back in, in the closet or in the box, or, sending that text because, you thought about it, but doing that then, that way you're not overloading your brain with all these little things that you could have just did then.
That's so smart. Like doing it now, I think sometimes like one thing I have a hard time doing is waking up. Like when I need to get up, I know I need to get up early. I know I got a lot of things to do with the day. So the one thing I do now is like 3, 2, 1, and just get up. Like even though fans on, it's cold, I'm so like, real. Man, I ain't trying to do this. But as soon as I go down the stairs, and then I have like this routine where it's brush your teeth, drink a glass of water, hit 20 push-ups, and then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like up, I'm kind of moving. But 3, 2, 1.
That's good, but let me tell you this thing somebody told me. So you said 20 push-ups.
Yep.
Somebody said do 33 because that's how long Jesus was on the earth. Now, okay. I don't know what his like, but he told me to do. He's like, before you do anything, obviously you can say your prayer, but then hit 33 push-ups, and he said it gets him started in a different way. I'm like,
I'm gonna try.
That might be good.
I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I hit my 20 this morning, but I know now I'm gonna be like, I gotta hit 33.
Yeah.
For the Lord.
Well, not to get super big on a tangent, because you know how I could do with it, especially us talking about God. Yeah. But it's just so crazy to me that Jesus literally only lived in his purpose for 3 years. Like he waited 30 whole years for God to do what he knew his whole life he was gonna do. Like he waited that long. And in reality, we're 21, 22. I mean, I'm 26 now, so I'm getting there. What are you? but you don't have to tell.
27.
Yeah.
Thanks
So,
for
you
letting
know,
me know.
we try to rush our life, and it's like, you know, even Jesus wasn't, you know, like God took that long to prep him.
Right.
You know, like we need to be in our preparation season.
Talk about that for we get in the tangent, but we here now because I'm with you. What has, because I can hear this from my perspective. Like saying that part has me realizing like, okay, I don't need to have it like right now. It doesn't need to happen right away. So what has like reading the Bible, maybe the Bible study, Bible college, like what has that done for you where you're starting to take these lessons from the Bible and start applying them to your life? Like how has it benefited?
Ooh, well, sometimes it's way easier said than done, and the Lord knows that's the blessing in it. Is He knows how hard it is to wait, or He knows how hard it is to be patient. But man, one, always just praying that God will give me something in my reading that I can take. Not just reading the Bible, but actually, obviously, you know, we all want to take something from it, but sometimes we're just guilty of reading it and just to read it, just to say we got it. But like really praying for like, God, I want your wisdom. I want your revelation right now. I want something I can apply today. And it's so funny how you go throughout your day and then something will happen. You're like, dang it, I just prayed about that. It's like, I failed.
Yep.
But you learn from failing. So it's so important. As far as like Bible college, I've learned a lot more so right now in our first semester of like how to help people who are so like smart understand God. And because you know, like some people be so smart, they'll question everything.
Yep.
And they'll try to use science, or, you know, they'll have all of these things, but in reality, like all of these things just prove that the Bible is even real. Like, so it really was like kind of like a bust your head kind of semester.
Okay.
Just because of like, you know, learning about creation, learning about moral standards, and like how people will try to disprove creation, or who God is, or, you know, who created. I mean, God is so intentional, like, and I'm going to go on a tangent if I get into that. So anyways, but yeah, just making sure, you know, like obviously praying that God will actually show me, but move through me, because realistically, you know, realizing every day that this life is not yours, you are vulnerable, also helps you to move more how God intended, I guess, for you to move, if that makes sense. I don't know if that was the right word.
Yeah, because like a realistic example, not like a biblical one, but like Keith Lee, I think made it realistic for me in the sense of like a Bible thing where he's like, yo, I'm just a vessel. And I think more times than not, you hear it and you be like, oh, what is he saying? You don't get it. But like, if you're trying to find the wisdom and application in that, it's almost like, yo, like I'm just living in a purpose. I'm not the guy. He's not taking no credit for everything. Like he gives it to God. So if you start looking at it from that perspective of, yo, I can't get what Moses did, what Job did, like what all these people, like, look at Keith Lee. Keith Lee is walking around blessing whoever he walks around.
Right.
And he's like, yo, I'm just a vessel. Like, I'm just moving in my purpose. And once you find your purpose, I feel like it's easier to bless people.
Well, and that's the thing too, is so many people feel like your blessing to people has to be financial. It has to be money. You have to be able to give $100 as a tip, or, you know, all of these things. But in reality, it can literally be your time. It can literally be how are you? It can be a smile. It can be, oh, like a compliment. You know, I love your sweatshirt in the grocery store. Like literally serving God and, you know, living in your purpose. Like we're all called to be a light. So realistically, that doesn't cost money. Of course, you know, the money blessings and the gifts and giving generously is a great thing, but do what you can before you can do all of that. Because I went and did like a homeless ministry, and I literally, like, you know, stuff like that makes me so sad. And it was just me, and I called somebody right after, and I was like, oh, like, this is why I'm not rich, because God knows I'm gonna go give this homeless man a car. So it's like, but in reality, that's why I will be rich, is because I don't have it, but like if I want to give it, but it's like, you know, we do the things that, you know, just like literally like your stay goofy, like those lights on social media, being a light on social media, like is alone, you know, being able to be generous and like you said, or just, you know, judging people's food, then bringing a crowd to that, whether he tipped good or whether he paid good, or, you know, with just, you know, just the content being able to bring people to that restaurant alone is a blessing.
Exactly.
But I saw something before, because I know I just talked a lot, but I saw something, you know who Tim Ross is?
Yeah.
So this is not verbatim, but he was saying that we want the glory, but we as humans cannot handle glory. We were not created for glory. We were created for praise. and that we did a good job. But like as far as the glory, like God has to get that. And a lot of times we'll work to get the glory, but in reality, the only reason I'm sitting in this at this microphone is because the Lord changed my life 3 years ago. 5 years ago, AJ knows I would not have been sitting here, but it's like God gets the glory for that, because I wouldn't have even just been able to communicate it, let alone had the wisdom, or let alone even just be the woman to have value, if we're really, speaking.
Yeah, it's really like people don't want to go through the failures, but through the failure, you realize the success. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times with this, topic at hand, your failed episode, like, if that didn't fail, we wouldn't change the light. I wouldn't have got lighting. I wouldn't have got a new camera. We wouldn't have got, like, the stuff that we're doing, a whole new setup. Like, I wouldn't have thought of it. I had to fail through it, because more times than not, when you succeed, it's like, oh, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of fixing that needs to be done daily.
Well, and even if you just look at, like you said, when we started the show, if this would have failed with anybody else, would anybody else have came? I don't know. I'm not saying it about me, but I'm saying just the everything happens for a reason, like, because we learn from those failures. So it's like, you have to take them for what they are and, grow with them. It was something on Instagram, which I need to stop obviously scrolling so much, because that's one of my failures. But I get so many ideas and so much stuff, like it's hard. But it was just talking about a glow stick, that God has to break us the same way the glow stick has to be broken to glow. God has to break us to glow. And it was like talking about how the kid was waving it around before it was, before it was glowing. His brother took it. He started crying. His brother broke it. But you don't realize, in the time that you have the ability to glow, but you are so complacent where you're at, not glowing, that you don't go get that brokenness to then glow. And I was like, ooh.
I like social media now. I'm not saying I didn't like it previously, but like I think there's an evolution of people finding God and in good relatable content. Like, it doesn't have to be a old scripture King James version of this is what God said and this is what you need to do, but like funny stuff, like super relatable. Like, I think there's one person who started this pick it up and preach it. Like, they were in the like restaurant or something. It was like, pick this up and preach about it. And just like that, like a glow stick, you can find the wisdom in everything.
Man, everything. No, that Save Not Soft podcast, she does that.
Oh,
that's the girl who started that does that podcast.
Okay, I didn't know.
She's fire. Definitely check it out. I'll show you when we end. But I was gonna say something to that, but I forgot. So.
Well, speaking of content and social media, I've seen you starting to pick up your content game.
Wait, well, hold that. What I was.
Okay, no, I'm holding.
No, what I was gonna say is yes, that move of God is it is just literally so mind-blowing. I'm seeing people in their close friends, and like when people start to post scripture on their story, like there's just a level, and it's like like my friend literally DM'd me or posted something on their close friends, I think on Christmas maybe, and then like the next thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this, because he like told me God like had been digging at his heart, like, hey, come back. And it would just literally makes me so excited that people that you think maybe wherever, they're not ever too far, But I was just going to say about social media, it's beautiful when you see your content change from like old self to now, like, it's all light, it's all good, it's all, I still have a few things that I wish would kind of, the algorithm would kind of like boot out my page.
They still trying to
but
test you real quick.
It's a really good thing when you have the right content, you're following the right people, because the moment you follow the Shade Room and Spiritual World and Justin LeBoy, get out. Unfollow them. If you really want to be great, I promise you that's not going to help you be great. So that's just my little tidbit. Thanks. But what was your question about?
I think I was getting into your content. So like I'm seeing you post, gym stuff, Bible college, obviously, taxes coming up, so you'll be having some stuff with that. Like, how is that evolution for you? Because if I recall correctly, I never seen you like post the videos where it's like you're not, I hate to use the word influencer, but like you're using your influence to help people. It was more so, just a regular Instagram, post a picture, I'm here, I'm there. So what's that look like for you now becoming, in this content space?
Yeah, it's definitely new. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but I have like, I would say I don't know if it was I cared too much about what people think, but one, I know the enemy had my personality in a hold, because there's a lot of me that I show now that I'm still trying to show a lot, like whether it be me dancing, like I do not dance in front of people. I love to dance though, like I do it by myself, or like whatever it may be. So like still trying to break out of that, of course, but like content is. One, social media, I know we talked about this on the last podcast, the one piece that we did get, it's such a blessing. And it's like, bro, I just saw some lady that's a digital marketer. The first 6 months of 2023 didn't make any income. Then she made over $1 million just digital marketing in 6 months last year. And it's like, why? I feel like you would just be so silly to not take advantage. But I've always, like I said, I've always wanted to do it, but being able to break out of that, whether it be, oh, I'm so skinny at the gym, or, oh, like no one wants to hear what I have to say, or I don't know. I don't really know what it was that made me, just understanding that like literally content, people fall in love with authentic you. They don't fall in love with the stage stuff, the fake stuff. Of course, that stuff is cute. It looks good. But after some time, I feel like that it falls off. Like people, like you said, this move of God, people crave value. People know that there's something missing. So why would I not use my platform for them to understand like, God is what you're missing. Fitness is what you're missing. These little things like the obviously get better. So, just using all the things that I've kind of held in secret, but finally like putting them out there for the world. It's scary, and it can be time consuming, but it's great.
Editing is time consuming. I'll tell you that. That'll do it. Like creating is always cool. I love creating. The dread part sometimes is just like editing might take 2 hours for a 30-second video.
Bruh, it's the 49-minute of content for a 20-second video that just...
you just trying to find a little piece sense. Like... It's like, come on, there's got to be a better way. But, gotta love content. Gotta love content. Let's wrap it up with this here. Give us one goal. Ooh. Let's say we meet back 6... Are you a short-term goal person or are you a long-term goal person?
Definitely short-term.
So, Q1. Let's
okay.
Talk. I meet you April 7th. I'm like, Kayla, what's going on? We talked January 1st. You said you had this goal. What is it that you accomplished Q1?
Definitely 6 figures in tax season. Unfortunately, that's Q1 for me. Q1's always I say always, it's only my second tax season, but it just feels like it's been a lifelong of beautifulness. But yes, 6 figures in tax season. Y'all, I have seen people make $500,000 with the tax business in 3 months. So just know, that is my goal. Yeah. And then honestly though, like that is my goal, but I want the people that I mentor, I want to see some of my people get 5 clients because I know for them that's a huge step. I want to see, some people get that 100 like, I did my first year. So really seeing them be successful in all the hard work that they've done, that's where my focus is. But of course, 6 figures for me would be nice too.
I like it. With this being the great journey, and we've talked a lot about the journey of this podcast, but if there was one thing you could leave with somebody about staying on their journey, continuing down the path, I'm setting up the scene for you here. It might be a tough one, but something that you've learned along your journey that might help somebody else on theirs. What's something that you could give them?
Honestly, probably. Oh, that's so hard. Finding the right people. And I know that sounds so basic, but like finding the right community, whether that be spiritual mothers, a spiritual mother and father, or a best friend, mostly people, that know the Lord is going to be obviously always my answer. Yeah. But that's just me. But I know that that's what changed me. I know once I found my community, the reason I say spiritual mothers or fathers is because they've fallen in those holes that we don't have to go fall in as well. So they can, guide us through that, teach us through that, help us to maybe not make the same mistakes, or at least, help us to give us wisdom, especially when it comes to God, because obviously, that's the ultimate gift. But really just having a community, period, that is the strength when you don't have the strength, or can remind you of how far you've came, or, can lift you up when you literally don't have the strength or the shoulder to cry on. Because one thing about me is I always cry. So yeah, my friends know that I need y'all. And, but really just have a community to keep you focused on the journey, to keep you disciplined, to help you, hold you accountable. But of course, just help you grow. Because what am I trying to say? When you go together, you go far. But when you go alone, you just go fast. And who wants to go fast when it doesn't last? Ooh, okay.
We're gonna stop it right there. I appreciate you coming back, Kayla. Hopefully, we'll do this again Q2 and see what happens.
Yeah, come back from my 6-figure story, okay?
Hey, man. Remember, guys, the destination means nothing if the journey isn't worthwhile. I haven't said that in a long time, so I almost messed it up. Love, peace, and Afro Grease. Make sure you keep something on your lips because I don't want you out here looking crusty. I'll see you when I see you.
Happy New Year.